It has beaches warmer than the Caribbean and glaciers colder than Antarctica. It has cities as modern as Tokyo and forests as untouched as the Amazon. No other country on Earth packs this much contradiction into two small islands. This is New Zealand. New Zealand is made up of two main islands, the North Island and the South Island, along with hundreds of smaller ones scattered along the coast. The North Island is warmer and shaped by volcanoes still active today. The South Island is wilder, colder, and dominated by the Southern Alps, a mountain range running almost its entire length. In the far southwest corner of the South Island lies Fiordland National Park, home to Milford Sound, often called the eighth wonder of the world. Despite the name, it isn't actually a sound. It's a fjord carved by glaciers over thousands of years, which explains its steep cliffs and impossibly deep water. It's also the only fjord in the country reachable by road, yet the thick rainforest and jagged peaks around it remain almost untouched. On clear days, the water turns into a mirror, perfectly reflecting the cliffs above it. But locals say the rain is when Milford Sound truly comes alive, when hundreds of temporary waterfalls pour off the cliff faces, seemingly out of nowhere, and the entire valley disappears into a soft, drifting mist. North of Fiordland sits Queenstown, wedged between Lake Wakatipu and the jagged peaks of the Remarkables. Known as the adventure capital of New Zealand, this is where bungee jumping was invented, off the Kawarau Bridge, and the nearby Shotover River offers some of the wildest whitewater rafting on the planet. But Queenstown isn't only for adrenaline seekers. The Gibbston Valley is home to award-winning vineyards, and natural hot pools nearby are perfect for unwinding. Much of The Lord of the Rings was also filmed here, and several tours now take visitors to the exact locations used in the trilogy. South of Queenstown, along a quiet stretch between Balclutha and Invercargill, lies one of the country's least visited but most rewarding regions. Native forest meets towering cliffs. Hidden waterfalls drop into forest pools, and there are sea caves, blowholes, and even a petrified forest, fossilized millions of years ago. Seals, dolphins, and yellow-eyed penguins are often spotted along the shore. Nugget Point, where a lighthouse sits on a narrow rocky ridge above the sea, is one of the most photographed spots in the region. Nearby, Slope Point marks the southernmost tip of the South Island. Rising above the Southern Alps is Aoraki, also known as Mount Cook, the tallest mountain in New Zealand. Climbers have been drawn here since the late 1800s, and it remains one of the most demanding climbs in the world. Steep vertical faces, unpredictable weather, and heavy glaciation make it a serious challenge even for experienced mountaineers. For everyone else, short trails from Mount Cook Village lead to glacier lakes filled with floating ice, all framed by the tallest peak in the country. A short drive away brings you to Lake Tekapo, famous for its turquoise water and the small stone Church of the Good Shepherd on its shore. Here you can go horse trekking, paddleboard across the calm lake, or soak in the hot pools while looking out at the mountains. Because the region has almost no light pollution, Tekapo sits inside an international dark sky reserve, making it one of the best stargazing spots on the planet. At the top of the South Island lies Abel Tasman National Park. Known for its golden beaches and clear turquoise water, you can explore it by scenic cruise, water taxi, kayak, or helicopter. Spring and autumn tend to bring calmer water and quieter beaches than summer. For the full experience, many visitors choose to camp under the stars along the coastline. At the southern tip of the North Island sits Wellington, New Zealand's capital. Small enough to explore on foot, its streets mix 19th century wooden buildings with striking Art Deco architecture. Te Papa Tongariro, the National Museum, offers a deep look into Maori heritage, while Cuba Street keeps the city buzzing with cafes and street performers. Climb Mount Victoria for the best view of the harbor, and as evening falls, visit Zealandia, a wildlife sanctuary inside the city where native birds come out at night. Further north sits Tongariro National Park, New Zealand's oldest, and one of the few places on Earth recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for both natural and cultural significance. Established in 1887, the park holds deep spiritual meaning for the Maori people. Its most famous trail, the Tongariro Alpine Crossing, winds through volcanic craters and emerald lakes, landscapes so dramatic they were used to film Mordor in The Lord of the Rings. In Rotorua, geothermal activity shapes almost everything: bubbling mud pools, hissing steam vents, and mineral hot springs scattered across the region. Te Puia, at the top of Fenton Street, is one of the best places to see this up close, including the famous Pohutu Geyser. The Skyline Gondola rises nearly 2,000 feet above the city for sweeping views over Lake Rotorua, which you can then explore by paddle steamer or fishing charter. A short ferry ride from Auckland takes you to Waiheke Island, where artists, winemakers, and city escapees blend together. The Waiheke Art Trail connects dozens of small galleries across the island. Between stops, swim in the clear water, or book a scenic flight for an aerial view. No visit is complete without a tasting at one of the island's boutique, family-run vineyards. Auckland is New Zealand's largest city. Its Maori name, Tamaki Makaurau, translates to Hash the Maiden Desired by many, a reference to how fiercely this land was once fought over. The city sits on a narrow strip between two harbors, dotted with 48 dormant volcanic cones and surrounded by more than 50 islands, with over 3,000 kilometers of coastline wrapping around it. Rising above it all is the Sky Tower, standing 328 meters tall and visible from almost every part of the city. From the top, you get a full 360-degree view of ancient volcanoes, sunlit harbors, and the open horizon beyond. On the Wairarapa coast lies Castle Point, home to a fossil-rich limestone reef, a historic lighthouse, and the towering 162-meter Castle Rock, named by Captain Cook in 1770 for its resemblance to castle walls. Short trails lead to the lighthouse and along the dramatic coastline, where dolphins and fur seals are often spotted just offshore. Further north, the Bay of Islands is one of New Zealand's most historically significant regions, made up of 144 subtropical islands centered around Paihia, Opua, and Waitangi. Waitangi holds particular importance as the birthplace of the nation, where the founding treaty between the Crown and Maori chiefs was signed in 1840. The warm water here is ideal for swimming, snorkeling, and sailing, while boat cruises regularly head out to spot dolphins among the islands. No trip through New Zealand feels complete without a stop at Hobbiton, the movie set built for The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies. On a real working farm owned by the Alexander family, walking through the village, you'll pass dozens of hobbit holes, the old mill and the Green Dragon Inn, where visitors can sit down for a drink brewed specially for the tour. West of Auckland lies Piha, a striking black sand surf beach framed by steep cliffs. It's one of the country's most popular surf spots, known for powerful waves and equally powerful currents, patrolled by lifeguards during summer. Walking trails wind through the surrounding forest, and thrill seekers can abseil down the nearby Pia Canyon. In the Otago region lies Lake Wanaka, formed inside a glacial basin and surrounded by mountains. The lake stretches 45 kilometers long, feeding into the Clutha River, New Zealand's second longest, which eventually reaches the Pacific. Just outside town, Roy's Peak offers one of the most rewarding day hikes in the country, climbing through open grassland to a ridge with panoramic views over the lake and across to Mount Aspiring. On the northeastern coast of the South Island, Kaikoura sits between the snow-capped seaward Kaikoura Range and the open Pacific. A deep offshore canyon here supports permanent populations of sperm whales, fur seals, and dolphins, making it one of the best whale-watching destinations in the world, with boat tours running multiple times a day. In winter, snow-dusted peaks rise behind the coastline, adding a dramatic backdrop to an already striking stretch of water. Napier holds one of the world's most complete collections of Art Deco architecture, largely because the city was rebuilt in that style after a major earthquake in 1931. A self-guided walking tour is the easiest way to explore its pastel-colored buildings, and each February, the city fully embraces its history during the Art Deco Festival. Christchurch blends old and new better than almost any other city in New Zealand. Visitors can take a relaxed punting trip down the Avon River, past manicured gardens and some of the country's oldest buildings, while the rebuilt city center comes alive at night with street art and a growing food scene. Back near Queenstown, Lake Wakatipu fills a deep valley carved by glaciers thousands of years ago. From Fernhill, a single view captures Queenstown, the lake, and the Remarkables all at once. The lake is known for excellent year-round trout fishing, and in summer, its beaches fill with swimmers drawn to the crystal-clear, ice-cold water. At the top of the South Island, the Marlborough Sounds stretch across 500 kilometers of coastline, formed from ancient river valleys flooded by rising seas. Forest-covered hills drop straight into the water, creating a maze of quiet inlets, coves, and bays across three main waterways. Connecting Mount Aspiring National Park and Fiordland National Park, the Routeburn Track is one of New Zealand's most celebrated multi-day hikes. In just a few days, it packs in mountain peaks, wide valleys, waterfalls, and alpine lakes, reaching 255 meters at its highest point. From the fjords of the deep south to the volcanic craters of the north, New Zealand is a country that never really repeats itself. Every valley looks different from the last, and every coastline hides something new, whether you're chasing adventure, quiet scenery, or simply a change of pace. Thank you for joining us on this journey through New Zealand. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the breathtaking landscapes of this beautiful country, New Zealand.